Leo soul, you didn't just stumble across this video. Something bigger brought you here, and it's not random. You're about to hear 6 numbers that could open a very real financial door, possibly one worth $1 billion. But this isn't about chasing money. It's about remembering that money is energy. And today, that energy is looking for someone exactly like you. Let's be real, how many times have you heard someone say, "This is your moment"? Maybe too many. So here's what I'll ask instead. What if, just for once, you let yourself believe that the timing actually is different this time? From October 1st to 3rd, a rare alignment is opening for you. The Sun, your ruling planet, is forming a powerful trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and blessings. That's not fluff. That's energetic mathematics. Meanwhile, the Moon ignites Aries, fueling your inner fire. This is not a season for waiting. It's for activating. For saying yes to what's been knocking quietly on your heart for far too long. And maybe you felt it, the restlessness, the signs, the numbers that keep showing up, the dreams that won't let you go. I'm not here to convince you that you're special. I'm here to remind you that you already know it. That deep down knowing. That's what this message is aligned with. And yes, it's time. What's ahead isn't just a horoscope. It's a doorway. Each of the 6 numbers I'll walk you through today isn't luck theory frequency codes, designed to wake up something already inside of you. They speak to your finances, your body, your healing, and your future. And you don't have to understand it all right now. You just have to feel it. If a number stirs something in your chest, write it in the comments. Not as a wish, but as confirmation. That's how you root this energy. That's how you say to the universe, "I'm here, and I'm open." Now, before we go any further, I want to say thank you genuinely. Your presence here matters. Every comment, every like, every subscription. It doesn't just help this channel grow. It keeps this space alive for people who need it. People like us, who are doing the work to stay open in a noisy world. So Leo, if you're still with me, I want you to stay all the way to the end. Not because it helps the algorithm, but because something is coming through this message that's meant for you. And I don't want you to miss it. This isn't about hype. It's about clarity. About recognizing that the miracle you've been waiting for isn't somewhere far off, it's already circling, waiting for a place to land. Tell me in the comments what brought you here today. What are you feeling right now that feels different? Because today, Leo, it's not about luck. It's about alignment. And you, dear one, are already glowing in the direction of everything you've asked for. Let's begin. The timing we're walking into, Leo, is far from ordinary, and you can probably feel it. You may not be able to explain it, but it's there, right beneath the surface. A soft urgency. A tug in the chest. A strange calm before something shifts. That's not your imagination, it's resonance. And it's no coincidence that the cosmos is aligning in your favor right now. The universe never sends announcements the way we expect. It speaks in nudges. In numbers. In gut feelings. And sometimes, in the kind of videos you didn't plan to click on, but found anyway. Between October 1st and 3rd, something powerful opens up for you, not just astrologically, but energetically. The Sun, which governs your sign, isn't just present, it's in harmonious trine with Jupiter in retrograde, a placement that amplifies blessings that are overdue. Not blessings that you hustle for, but blessings that meet you once you've done the inner work. When Jupiter retrogrades through Taurus, it asks, what are you really worth? What do you truly value? Not what society applauds, not what earns external validation, but what lights you up from the inside. And the Sun's trine to that placement doesn't just highlight you, it invites expansion that's soul-aligned. Now here's where it gets personal. You may feel an inner push to take action, even if nothing on the outside seems to be urging you. That's because the moon during this window will be in Aries, fire meeting fire. You're being called to step into something without overthinking it. Not recklessly, but boldly. And I know, sometimes that's easier said than done. When you've carried disappointment, or the weight of unmet expectations, even hope can feel exhausting. But this alignment doesn't require you to be fearless. It simply asks you to be honest. To admit what you really want. And to stop waiting for permission to pursue it. Astrology isn't about predicting the future, it's about revealing the current that's moving beneath the surface. And this current is rushing toward activation. The doors that open during this window aren't loud or dramatic. They look like small opportunities, subtle changes in conversation, people returning out of nowhere, or money showing up in unexpected ways. But if you're too busy second-guessing your worth, you'll miss them. If you're too caught up in doubt, you won't recognize them as invitations. This is where faith comes in, not blind faith, but embodied belief. The kind you cultivate in quiet moments when no one's watching. The kind that says, even when I don't see it yet, I know something is moving on my behalf. That's the seed of trust that shifts reality. It's not about forcing or controlling outcomes. It's about preparing your energy to receive. About living like the thing you desire is already seeking you, too. And here's the thing, sometimes the signs are already with you. A number you keep seeing. A phrase that shows up in different places. A dream that won't leave you. Those aren't just coincidences. They're threads in a web that's being woven around you, and through you. The more you notice, the more the universe speaks. So ask yourself, has a certain number been showing up lately? On your receipts? Your clocks? Your dreams? That might not just be random. It could be a divine breadcrumb. A frequency meant to activate the very thing you've been praying for in silence. Leo, your season may have passed on the calendar, but your moment is only just beginning. Stay awake to what's being whispered to you right now. You are not lost. You are being led. And the energy ahead is calling for boldness, not in your voice, but in your alignment. There's nothing left to prove. Only something to step into. So if something stirred in you just now, don't brush it off. Let it in. And maybe, just maybe, write it down. Or better yet, leave a comment. Share the number that's been circling in your life. Not to impress anyone, but to declare it to yourself. To mark this moment as the one where you stopped waiting and started receiving. Leo, let's be honest for a second, there are moments in life when you don't need a sign to tell you change is coming. You can feel it. It hums in your chest like a drumbeat before a battle, or a quiet knowing that something old is finally ready to be released. That's what this part of the journey is about. These 6 numbers, they're not just numbers theory frequencies. And if you let them, they'll work on you from the inside out. You don't have to believe in luck or superstition to feel their effect. You just have to be open enough to recognize that the universe leaves codes in the places you least expect. This moment is about decoding your next chapter, and each of these numbers is a thread in that unfolding story. 29 is where we begin because every great beginning starts with a necessary end. In astrology, 29 is a lunar number, tied to the closing phase of a cycle. Emotionally, it shows up when something in you is done pretending. Maybe it's a job that once felt secure, or a relationship you've outgrown, or a money habit that keeps you stuck in scarcity. When 29 shows up, it's asking, what are you finally ready to close the door on? Because once you let it go, something larger moves in. And yes, that might mean cleaning out your wallet, canceling that old subscription, or finally forgiving the person who didn't say sorry. Detox isn't just about what you eat, it's what you release from your energetic field. The color olive green isn't flashy, but it heals in quiet ways. Just like this number. Then we arrive at 51. A number that asks you to stop fighting your mind and start trusting your instincts. Mercury in Libra brings balance, but it also invites deeper decision-making. This isn't about spreadsheets or logic. It's about pausing long enough to hear what your body has known all along. Have you ever made a decision that looked wrong on paper but felt right in your gut and later turned out to be exactly what you needed? That's the power of 51. It invites you to combine intellect with intuition. And when you do, your money decisions start making more sense. Meditation, even if it's just 10 minutes a day, is less about clearing your mind and more about making space for wisdom to surface. In numerology, 5 and 1 becomes 6, the number of harmony, responsibility, and heart-centered choices. Think of silver grayskull, composed, and deeply intuitive. That's the frequency of this number. Now let's talk about 08. The infinity loop. The sacred cycle between giving and receiving. In astrology, it holds the tension between house 2, what you earn, and house 8, what transforms you. This number carries the kind of power that doesn't raise its voice, it speaks with presence. When 08 shows up, it's asking you to examine your motives. Why do you want the wealth you seek? Who benefits when you win? If the answer isn't rooted in purpose, the energy won't sustain. But if you connect your financial desires with a deeper intention, everything flows faster. In your body, this shows up in your heart literally. Chest tightness, irregular heartbeat, high blood pressure, those are signals. The wisdom of this number is not just to work harder, but to listen better. Ruby red isn't just a color, it's the pulse of courage wrapped in compassion. 12 arrives gently, like a soft reset. This number is about forgiveness, not the kind you force, but the kind you allow when you're tired of holding pain that doesn't serve you anymore. When 12 enters your life, it's signaling a return to clarity. Old emotions stored in the gut show up as bloating, fatigue, or even digestive issues. That's not just food, it's emotional residue. A beautiful way to work with this energy? Write a letter you'll never send. Say what needs to be said, not for them but for you. In color therapy, cream white represents new beginnings. Clean slates. Lightness returning. 60 is a number that asks, what are you really building? Is it a brand? A family? A way of life that feels like home to your soul? In the chart, it aligns with House 10 legacy, achievement, purpose. This number doesn't scream for attention. It arrives when you're doing something real, something rooted in who you are, not who you're trying to impress. If you've been feeling exhausted chasing goals that aren't yours, this number is here to realign you. Sometimes success isn't about being louder, it's about being true. Financially, the energy of 60 supports steady streams of income from sources you love. Sleep improves. Anxiety lifts. And you finally feel safe enough to stop bracing for the worst. The color? Deep green. The frequency of quiet growth, receptive energy, and organic abundance. Finally, 17. A number soaked in trust. Astrologically, it echoes Saturn in trine, supporting you not through shortcuts, but through structure. If there's something you once dreamed of but buried, now is the time to dig it back up. A person from your past may return with an opportunity that surprises you. Or maybe, a door you thought had closed is suddenly wide open. The lesson? Don't write off a dream just because it didn't happen when you wanted it to. If it still lives in you, it's not over. Physically, this number ties to the bones, the legs, your movement through the world. It wants you to stretch literally and metaphorically. Golden brown is its color, grounded, wise, and enduring. So now the question is, which number stirred something in you? Which one made you pause, breathe deeper, or feel that strange little pull in your chest? That's not just curiosity. That's a code calling you home. Drop it in the comments. Say it out loud. Name it. Anchor it. Because that's how the frequency finds you. That's how the miracle lands. There's something powerful that happens when we stop running and start opening. This isn't about doing more. It's about becoming available for abundance, for peace, for the life you've quietly known was possible. If you've made it to this point, it means your energy has already started shifting. So now, we're not just listening, we're responding. And sometimes, the most potent way to respond isn't with logic or planning, but with ritual. Simple, grounded, symbolic action. Not because it's magical, but because your body and your mind need something real to anchor into when energy is moving fast. From October 1st to 3rd, there's a window. Not a window you force open, but one that gently slides when the time is right. And this time is right. This ritual isn't complicated, but it's deep. Light a candle, white or gold. Let that flame remind you that even the smallest spark holds power in darkness. Write your 6 numbers down on paper. Yes, write them. Not just think. Not just hope. Put them into form. That's what creation is. Then place your hand over your heart, close your eyes, and breathe like someone who is safe. Like someone who no longer has to hustle for their worth. Like someone who remembers that the soil doesn't beg the rain, it receives it when it's ready. And when you're there, say the words, I am fertile ground for prosperity. I expand to receive sacred abundance. That's not a wish. It's a statement. You're not a skingy or realigning. The 888 Hz sound frequency can support this process. It's been used in sound therapy to help regulate the nervous system, and in energy work to amplify receptivity. Let it hum in the background if you'd like. Let it hold space for you. And when you're done, write in your journal, today, I officially opened the channel for financial blessings. It's that moment when you decide to believe in what you've been asking for, not as a maybe, but as a now. No one needs to see it. But you need to know it. You showed up. You answered the nudge. Now, let the energy do what it's been waiting to do all along. Come toward you. After opening yourself energetically to receive, the next step is one that often gets overlooked: creating the kind of life where what you ask for can actually stay. That's the real work, not just attracting abundance, but becoming the version of you who knows how to hold it, manage it, and let it flow through your life without fear. That doesn't require a personality change. It just asks you to become more honest with yourself, more present with your needs, and more intentional with your choices. Because no matter how many spiritual practices you do, if your real-life habits don't support the energy you're calling in, the results will come and go like waves, never quite settling in. Let's start with money, because it's the area most people are quietly trying to heal. Financial alignment is less about how much you make and more about how you treat what you already have. If your nervous system is constantly in survival mode, you'll either hoard money out of fear or overspend trying to self-soothe. Both are rooted in anxiety. That's why simple, practical steps matter. Try using a budgeting app, not to restrict yourself, but to bring your awareness into the flow. Set a cap for impulse purchases. Create a small giving account, even if it's just $5. Why? Because giving activates the energy of circulation. It tells the universe, I'm not in lack, I'm in rhythm. When money comes into a space where energy is moving freely, not clinging or draining, it tends to stay longer. Now let's talk about relationships. Love, connection, even friendship, they don't thrive under control. If you've been trying to force a dynamic to make sense, to work harder at being seen, or to make someone feel what they're not ready to feel, it may be time to soften. Attraction isn't manufactured, it's felt. This season asks you to express affection naturally, without gripping. And if you're single, consider this. What if you're not meant to search right now, but simply tune your frequency so clearly that the right people recognize you without words? And then, of course, there's the body, your first home. Your physical health has a deep relationship with your emotional and financial well-being. It's all connected. This week, support your system with grounding foods: beets, leafy greens, omega-3s. These help detox the heart, the liver, and the mind. Before bed, breathe in for 4, hold for 7, release for 8. Let your nervous system know it's safe to rest. Because real healing doesn't happen through intensity, it happens through consistency. Finally, career. Ask yourself gently, do I still love what I do? If the answer is yes, nourish it. If the answer is no, don't panic but listen. You're allowed to evolve. Maybe it's time to pivot, or maybe it's time to return to something you forgot you loved. Either way, when your work reflects your values, your energy becomes magnetic. And the abundance you've been trying to attract, it starts looking for you. Leo, there's something about your light that can't be copied, replicated, or dimmed, not even by your own doubt. You weren't made to chase. You were made to radiate. To inspire. To lead from the heart, not from ego. That's the soul of a true Leo. And that's exactly why this part of the journey matters so much. Because every time you try to shrink yourself to fit someone else's timeline, or silence your voice so you don't come off too much, you delay the very destiny that was always coded into your spirit. This isn't about proving you're worthy of wealth, love, or success. It's about remembering that your presence already holds the frequency of all those things. They were never separate from you, just waiting for you to stop hiding and own it. The 6 numbers you received today, those weren't random. They're not magic tricks or superstition. They are markers. Symbols that reflect who you've become through every stretch of healing, every cycle of letting go, every moment you kept walking when no one clapped for you. These numbers are here not to give you something you lack, but to activate what's already inside. Think of them as coordinates, each one pointing you back to a deeper truth you've almost forgotten in the noise. You are the source. You are the magnet. You are the miracle. This is where many people stop and wait. But not you. Leo energy doesn't stall at the edge of transformation. It steps forward even trembling because it knows what it's carrying isn't just for itself. That's what makes you a leader. Not because you have all the answers, but because you're willing to walk through the fire first and light the path for others. That courage? It has value. That raw honesty in your voice? It holds wealth. That love you offer, even when you're still learning how to receive it? That is power. And it's time the world sees that version of you more clearly. Don't be afraid to show up now, not polished, but real. Not perfect, but ready. Because when you accept that you are the miracle you were hoping for, life starts bending in your direction. And Leo, you're not chasing luck anymore. You are the luck. You don't have to beg for doors to open. You simply stand where the light hits you fully, and the right doors unlock without force. So if any part of you has been doubting whether your dreams matter, or whether you're really the one the universe wants to bless, let me say this as clearly as I can: you already are. Nothing outside of you needs to change for that to be true. You don't need to hustle harder, shrink smaller, or get it all figured out. You just need to believe in your own light again. That's when the energy shifts. That's when the numbers align. That's when the path unfolds. So go back to those 6 numbers. Sit with them. Speak them. Claim them. Not with desperation, but with quiet certainty. And if one of them stirred something in your chest, leave it in the comments below. Let that be your declaration. A signal. A seed. Because this isn't the end of your journey, Leo. It's the unlocking of your next chapter. And this time, you're not following the stars, you are the star. If you've made it to this point, take a moment, breathe. Let this be more than just another video you watched and forgot. Let this be the moment you said yes to yourself in a new way. You see, everything we've talked about, every number, every breath, every quiet shift in perspective, hasn't been about changing you. It's been about revealing you. The version of you that already knows how to lead, how to attract, how to hold wealth not just in your bank account, but in your nervous system, in your relationships, in your sense of peace. So now I want to ask you something, and I hope you'll really pause to consider it. Do you believe you're worthy? Not just in theory, but in your day-to-day choices? In the way you speak to yourself? In the way you receive love, money, support, joy? Because all the cosmic alignment in the world can't override what you deny yourself. If your answer is yes, or even almost yes, then do this with me. Scroll down and comment the number that spoke to you the most. Then write this affirmation underneath it. I open my channel to receive money with gratitude and peace. Not because you're begging the universe for a favor, but because you're claiming the life that already belongs to you. The door has opened. The numbers have been whispered. The energy is alive. But now it's your turn. Will you step through? Or will you wait for another sign when this one is already glowing in your hands? You don't need to have it all figured out to take one clear step. Maybe it's setting that reminder to do your ritual tomorrow morning. Maybe it's writing down the affirmation and taping it to your mirror. Maybe it's just choosing to believe fully for the first time in a long time. This isn't about perfection. It's about alignment. And when you choose alignment over fear, over delay, over doubt, you become magnetic to everything you thought was still far away. If this message stirred something in you, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone whose spirit is ready to receive. Every time you interact, you help expand this field of awakening for others, too. That's what eternal mindfulness is all about, not predicting your future, but awakening the memory your soul has always carried. You are not waiting on a miracle. You are the miracle. You are the gatekeeper. And the gate? It's already open. The question is, will you walk through? Now tell me, dear Leo, what was it that brought you here today? And what would shift in your life if you finally stopped waiting and started receiving?